It's important to know that you know what you're moving into. I can't tell you how many people have moved into their home, got in their home, been there, and they're like, well,
View with the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association.
Welcome. Go ahead, try it. It's your show, so go ahead, try it.
welcome.
I don't know.
Well, he could do it then.
We
He
can
can do it.
We can make it work. Okay, guys, welcome to the YMANation podcast, episode number 48.
48.
Real Estate Wednesday.
Real Estate Wednesday.
I am Joe Wallace, and this is.
Rebecca Wallace.
And, guys, make sure if you're on right now, you like, comment, which means go down in the comment section and hashtag YMANation. We have $2,000 drawing that we are doing this month for March. So make sure you hashtag YMANation down in the comment section and subscribe. If this is your first time, guys, subscribe and like. You know, the more you like, the more it gets shown on the top. So make sure you guys like the video. Like, it takes 2 seconds to actually press the little thumb up. Like the video.
2 seconds.
I'm going to jump into your show because I want to tell them about this $2,000.
Okay.
Everybody want to hear about money, right? Everybody want to hear about money. So make sure you hashtag YMANation down in the comment section. Your name will go into the drawing for the $2,000 that we will do at the end of the month.
Okay.
Your name will go in the drawing one time for that episode.
Okay.
And then if you go on Facebook and then you go to YMANation on Facebook, this episode, if you share the video on Facebook,
Share, guys, share.
your name will go into the drawing 2 times. If you hashtag YMANation on Facebook on this video, your name will be in the drawing 3 times.
3 times.
If you like the Facebook video, your name will go into the drawing 4 times. So through the month of March, for every episode, you have 4 chances to win. That's 3 episodes per week. That's 12 chances per month. That's 48 times. We're going to do a $2,000 drawing if we hit 2,000 subscribers.
2,000 subscribers, guys.
So, and that's going to happen because we did it in December of 2020. We said if we get to 1,000 subscribers, that we would give away $1,000. And we did. We actually gave away $2,000. So if we get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of March, we are going to give away $2,000. And if you guys are actually participating, it's going to happen so easy. We'll hit it easily.
All right. Sounds good. Good information. Yay.
One more thing. I got a bonus.
Oh, bonus.
She is going to give you guys a keyword. And down in the comment section, you'll see where it says there's a link. And if you click the link, just go and put in the keyword. And your name will go into the drawing an extra time.
Oh, nice.
So,
see, y'all got lots of ways to win some money. So
$2,000.
do it.
20 people are going to win $100. So imagine if your name get pulled 5 times.
There you go.
Money.
Opportunity.
Money.
All right.
Money. Let's go.
All right. So our topic. So if you've been following and you've been watching the episodes, we're going through what offer into a contract. So basically what it takes to purchase a home. I'm giving you a step-by-step breakdown of those things. So on the last episode, we got under contract. And we talked a little bit about what that meant. And there will be things coming up that you have to do next, right? So this show, we're going to focus on the top 4 contract contingencies, and we're going to explain those. That doesn't mean there can't be additional contingencies. This is just typically what you're going to see in a contract as a contingency. We talked about this when you're writing an offer. You're going to make it contingent on certain things. These are the top 4 things, and we're going to go in depth and explain what those things mean and what you have to do to get those contingencies met.
So when you're buying a home, These are the top 4 contingencies in the contract.
Typically.
Typically.
So the key word is contingency.
You gave them the keyword early. You wanna watch the show. Like they're like, oh, I got the keyword now. I could go back to watching my own.
They're gonna watch because
They
this
want to
is
learn
very
this information.
important.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys better hold on. I'm gonna jump through and track your IP address down.
Okay. So the first contingency that you're going to see when you write up an offer is going to be contingent upon financing. Unless you got $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 sitting in the bank and you're going to pay cash for your house, typically it's going to be a contingency on financing of some sort. This means that you have spoken with a lender, which we've discussed, gotten your pre-approval, and that lender said based on your credit score and the analysis that they did on the information that you've provided them, whether it be your W-2s, your pay stubs, your bank statements, things of that nature, they're going to give you a pre-qualification or a pre-approval letter, and that is going to make that contract for you buying that house contingent on that financing completely going through. That means when you go under contract, your agent's going to send the contract to the lender. That lender will take that contract and say, okay, here's the address. They're going to put in the property address. They're going to start doing work regarding that property. The closing attorney is going to start doing title work. And the lender will then ask you for a plethora of documents.
Oh, my God, yes.
They're going to ask you for a lot of documents, lots and lots of documents.
Can I tell them a tip?
Go ahead.
Make sure you create like a folder on your computer, and every time they ask for some piece of paperwork or
put it in the folder.
Send it and save it, because it's like pretty much an 80% chance they're going to ask for it again.
And in your email, even in your email, every sent email that you send to the lender, you can create a folder and just put all your sent emails in a folder on Yahoo or Gmail, Outlook, whatever you use for your email. Create you a folder in your email and just put the sent emails in there.
And you can also go to like your sent folder and type in, like if they ask for taxes, you can just go to your sent folder, type in taxes, you'll see it, and then just forward it back to them.
Because it's going to go through many different processes, which we've already talked about. So if you want to know about the lending processes, we've delved into that in previous episodes. So go watch those episodes and get that information. But if you are not doing what you need to do in order to get that financing complete so that you can close on the house, then you can default on that contract. Meaning the seller may have the opportunity to keep your earnest money because you're not doing what you have to do to be able to close on that closing date that you have on that contract. So it is very, very important that when a lender asks for documentation so that you can meet the contingent on financing in that contract, that you are doing what you have to on your end. So that's the first big contingency, is financing, because like a majority, I would say 90% of people are going to have to get it financed, have to have their home financed. It also depends on the type of loan that you're getting as to how much documentation is needed, and what documentation is needed. So it's just very important that you stay highly involved and engaged with your lender. And sometimes it's even good for your agent to stay involved and just say, hey, is my client doing everything they need to do on their end? Is there anything they're missing? So that there's multiple people in the loop with what you need to do.
That's a good point too. And this is good for like an agent. Like if they're starting and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's good information. So the information is good for us, like future homeowners, first-time home buyers, and agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, contingent on financing. Make sure that, that's just a key to get the loan for you to buy the house. Another contingency that we talked about is contingent on inspection. So, we talked about when you are purchasing a home and you're going to do like a repair procedure, or if you're going to do a due diligence period, one of those two things, you're not purchasing the house as is. Because if you're purchasing the house as is, this contingency is not going to apply. You can still have inspections done, but you are agreeing to buy the house as is, so the contingency doesn't apply. If you're going in a due diligence period, or if you're doing a repair procedure, both of those have to do with you obtaining the buyer obtaining a home inspection of your choice to lay out any problems that there may be with the property. Now, typically people will start with a thorough top to bottom home inspection. So there's home inspectors out there. Typically agents will have people that they can refer you to,
right.
Or, a list of home inspectors that work in your area. And what your agent will do is, once that home inspection is done, depending on if you're in due diligence or repair procedure, they will discuss with you items on that home inspection then you would like to ask the seller to repair. Now, if there are things that come back in the home inspection and you say, this is a red flag, I think I want to get a roof inspector out, or I want to get a plumber out, or I want to have a specialized inspection done, most of the time that falls on the buyer to pay for those inspections. You can get whatever inspection, if you want a radon test done, if it's an older home and you want lead-based paint testing done, you can get whatever tests you want done and inspections that you want done. But you have to do it within the period that is laid out on that contract. So if you say it's, February or March the 3rd, and I'm going to have all my inspections done by March the 15th, well, you better get on the phone and start scheduling inspectors to come out, because some are booked for a while. So to give yourself a fair amount of time, because once your inspection period's over.
I started off checking it every other week, just like most people do. Then it got out of control. I couldn't help myself. I started checking it day after day after day. I didn't realize that I was becoming addicted until my wife said something.
What did she say?
She said, it's just a credit score, relax.
Are you checking your credit score?
Huh? Hold on.
Also in the contract is going to say when or how many days or a specific date that seller has to send you back what you've asked them to repair. So if you don't have the repair request sent over in the time frame that you have on that contract, then guess what? The seller's not obligated to fix anything you have in the repairs.
You don't want that to happen.
So dates are very important. Time frames are very important. And this is why it's good for you to have an agent that can help keep track of all the dates and the time frames and make sure everything's staying on course.
Yes. And if anything that she's saying is sounding foreign to you, like contingencies, inspections, you got to go back and watch the previous episodes, because where she's at right now, like every episode has built up to this, from going through the whole process, trying to find a home, finding the home, putting the home on the contract, what comes with the contract, and now contingencies. So go back and watch the previous episodes.
I told him I was going to give him a guide.
A lot of good information.
So inspections, very, very important. It's important to know that you know what you're moving into. I can't tell you how many people have moved into their home, got in their home, been there, and they're like, well, we didn't notice this during this time, but we see this or we see that. Now, it's a house. There's going to be things that change in the house, or, I tell people, like a HVAC system. It's a machine. It's like a car. Your car can give out on you tomorrow and unexpectedly, and the same thing with the HVAC, It
Depend on the age of it,
depend
right?
on, well, not. I had a client, the house was 3 years old. The HVAC was 3 years old.
Wow.
They moved in. 3 days later, the HVAC went out.
Wow. I'm
So
gonna tell you
it
what happened
doesn't
with
have
that.
to do with the age. And when they got the home inspection done through the inspector of their choice, the HVAC was working fine.
Uncle Jim Bob came and swapped
So,
it out like the day before
But,
they closed.
it's just it's a machine. So
Right.
if it's faulty or something's wrong with it, that's why it's good to have a home warranty. So
Definitely,
is-
home
is-
warranty should
home
always be
warranties
covered.
are great, and they help you have your homeowner's insurance and your warranty, and that way you're pretty much covered somewhere.
It's almost like having insurance on a vehicle, right?
Yeah, right,
Getting a car accident, you covered.
right. Or gap insurance.
Or gap insurance. That's a
Gap
good
insurance.
example. Yeah.
So, the inspections are very important. Also, what goes along with inspections, but it's separate in the contract, and we talked about it, is the CL 100 or the termite inspection. In this wonderful, lovely state of South Carolina that we are in, I've heard many, many home inspectors and termite or pest control people say, it's not if you have termites, it's when are you going to get them, because they're so prevalent because of the moisture and the area. So termite inspections are very important. There may be termite damage from previous. There may be termites active. If they don't have an active bond and pest control coming out to treat for termites once a year, then, it can cause problems later on. So it's very important to have that inspection done. Make sure if it's a crawl space home, the moisture levels in the crawl space are below a certain percentage to eliminate fungus and things like that,
wow.
and mold. So the termite inspection is very important as well. Typically a contingency that you're going to want to have if you're purchasing a home, and for VA, they require the CL 100 be done and that it come in spec of their requirements.
It protects you as a buyer, too.
It does. It does. So that goes kind of along with the home inspection, but that's another contingency that you typically want to have on there. Lastly, contingent on appraisal. This is huge in our area right now.
We just had a phone call yesterday, or was that Monday?
Maybe Monday.
Maybe Monday, yeah. 2 days ago, yeah, it was on Monday, yeah. With the guy down in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. But not only that, in this area right now, I can't tell you on all of the real estate groups that I'm in, agents talking about my property, is my listing is under contract. The appraisal came in $10,000 below contract price. It came in $8,000 below. One came in $21,000 below contract price.
Wow.
And it's not nothing against appraisers, but they were just saying that the appraisers maybe never ever went to the property because of COVID. Appraisers started doing a lot of stuff virtually or ride-bys. They weren't using adequate and accurate comps, and then they would send them comps to say, this is why we valued the price at this. And the lender's not going to lend what the appraiser doesn't appraise the home for.
Explain that to them so they can understand.
I
that.
am.
Okay.
So what that means is, if you put a house under contract for $200,000 and your lender is saying, okay, we're going to loan you $200,000 to purchase this property, but it's a contingency on it appraising for $200,000. So what that means is an appraiser is going to go out and they're going to run comps based on the houses that are sold in that area, with the approximate square footage, around about the same square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, acreage, things like that. If things have been upgraded, or if it's a new build, they'll go off of new construction in that subdivision or in that area. And they're going to take those comps. They'll use typically about 4 to 6. And they're going to say, okay, based on all of these comps, we think that this property is valued at X amount of dollars. Well, if that appraiser says, well, we only feel like this property is valued at $190,000, that lender is only going to lend you $190,000 to buy that house. Wow. That means either the seller has to negotiate down to $190,000, meaning they're losing $10,000.
Right.
Which means if you're asking for them to pay closing costs, they may say, we'll drop the price $10,000, but we're not going to pay your closing costs anymore.
Right.
You go back into renegotiation at that point, right? Mm-hmm. Or you have to come up with that out of pocket, or you can split it. I mean, it is a negotiation at that point, but the lender's not going to lend you $200,000 if it only appraises for $190,000. So that's where the issues are coming in, why all these agents are complaining in all these groups and things like that, because if they have listings and the listings are appraising $10,000 below, $21,000 below, and actually someone posted they had a buyer. Now this is a disservice to the buyer. This is how it affects the buyer. The buyer had a contract on the property. They had it appraised. They had it inspected. I mean, the buyer had done everything. The appraisal come back $12,000 below what the contract price was. The seller was not willing to negotiate and lose the $12,000.
Wow.
The listing agent put it back on the market for more than it was on the market before. It went under contract and it appraised for the amount that it was on the contract, on the listing service for the second time.
How did that happen?
Different appraisal.
Different appraiser. But I was sitting here thinking, as you were saying earlier, like, how in the world can you do a ride by appraisal? Let's go ride by this neighborhood. Okay, yeah, that looks like the house. Based on the comps, I think that house may be valued at, like, they haven't went inside, haven't walked around the house.
Someone had posted that the appraiser, they had an issue. One of the appraisers didn't even go to the property. They sent their assistant to the property.
I mean, if you got an assistant and they train, and I don't know how it works, but.
Well, appraisers have to be licensed too.
Oh, so that means that if that assistant is not licensed, then how you have an assistant going out doing the work?
Right. So it is very controversial right now. Because the lender will order the appraisal. It's a third party, like a neutral person. And if it's an FHA appraisal, it sticks with the property for 6 months. So the seller can put the property back on the market, but they may not can get an FHA buyer because that FHA appraiser is going to stick with the property for 6 months.
Oh, no, I'm thinking, my mind, I'd be calculating angles, and I'm thinking, okay, so they put it back on the market for a higher price with the assumption that it's not going to appraise. It didn't appraise for $200, but we're going to put it back on the market for higher. So I'm going to call my cousin who does appraisals, and I'm going to tell him, hey, I'm going to put it on the market for $215. I need you to come appraise this house, and boom, and got it done.
No, that's not how any of that works. Don't hang. None of that. None of that can happen.
I'm just trying to understand how they can
Because
mark the price up.
a lot of times it has to do just with the appraiser, who the appraiser is. There's been instances
I guess that's just like the mechanic. Depends on who the mechanic is.
where the appraiser goes out and it may come in. This was another scenario I saw. Appraiser went out, it appraised 10,000 below, and I think even Amy, the lender that we had on a couple of weeks ago, was telling me she saw it where FHA appraised at one thing, they switched over to conventional, sent a conventional appraiser out, and it appraised for something completely different, and it came in.
And the type of loan should not matter.
It's just who the appraiser is and what comps they use.
Like a mechanic, right? You may take it to mechanic A. He may be like, oh, yeah, that noise is coming from
the belt.
And then you take it over here, and they're like, oh, no.
That's the brake.
We put it on the machine and know that noise coming from blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
But it's worse because you have two people that are investing. Well, I mean, the seller's trying to sell their house. They could potentially lose money if the appraisal isn't done properly. If the agent doesn't fight it, which most of the time an agent's going to fight it, especially a seller agent, they're going to fight to get the appraiser where it needs to be.
They should.
But I mean, then if the buyer loses money by doing all these other inspections and paying, I mean, an appraisal can run $500 to $700, maybe even more in certain areas. So you think about that and whole inspections that have been done, then you really can lose money trying to, purchase a home, and then the appraisal be the only thing that's messing you up. So 4 contingencies to think about and what they are.
4 contingencies. You guys learn so much. You have access to everything. Like, if you are living in today's time, you have access to everything that you need to know.
And if you are interested in free credit repair, 1 month free credit repair, and all of this information one-on-one, you have to call 864-249-1437 and come in for your free credit consultation and your free buyer review. And call in, tell them that you saw the podcast and that you want your free credit consultation and your free buyer review.
You got it. They have the number. The number is down in the comment section, too.
I said free a whole lot, by the way.
Yeah. The contact number for the pyramid group is down in the comment section, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on Friday.
View with the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association.